All right, foundation looks good, don't see any problems. With the evaporator coil up in the attic space, the air handling system, as it deposits the water on that side of the home, it is right up against the foundation, and it's causing some deterioration in the weep screed and in the stucco itself on that side of the home. Initially, it looked like they had it plumbed into a part of the pool system there. They've opted to cut that out of service, cap it, and now the water is just draining out on the side of the house. But it is too close to that stucco and it's causing some deterioration, and I added a picture in for you. Going back to the outside of the home, vegetation, too close to the house. These palm fronds are over the top of the roof area, and that's what's allowing the vermin to get up into your attic space. No two ways about it. They have to have a way to get up there, and they're using those trees. These are fairly juvenile, so as far as their age is concerned, which means they've got a ways to go. And I always make it a point to never put that type of a root system that close to the foundation. So, out. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. Let me, right, the trees. One GFCI outlet at the back of the house right here did not test for me. The plumbing at the front of the home here, they were nice enough to put in this new copper line coming in from the city vault. As it got to the original galvanized, that's where it quits. No dielectric coupler, no brass nipple in there. They used something very small.
That fit, but electrolysis will start.
Exactly. It's just a matter of time until that happens. And it won't happen to the copper. It will only happen to the galvanized. Okay. And it won't happen to the outside. It happens to the inside. Right. And if you want to see what happens in the inside of galvanized plumbing, I left some old at the front of the house for you. Please grab it and look at it. And it's very much like the arteries after too many cheeseburgers. Right. So I should know I've had too many cheeseburgers.
Yes.
Okay. So
I got the stents to prove it.
The brick veneer at the front, a little bit of damage, nothing major, of course, but I noted a little bit of damage to the old veneer. A bit of peeling paint throughout the entire house, up in the eave and fascia area, not fascia, but the eave area. A little bit of peeling paint. Consult your termite report when and if you get one. Okay. Off to the garage. No GFCIs in there. I'd like to see at least one at the laundry service. Yeah. Anytime you have a water source, a GFCI would certainly be required. So we went over this with the doors. The door leading to the exterior for the garage is an interior hollow framed door. Okay, so that would need to be an exterior rated door. The one that's at the garage that separates us from the garage, the house from the garage, that is not an approved fire door. It is an exterior door. So swap it, put it over there, dump the other one, get a fire rated door. Minimum in the state of California is 30 minutes. Can't buy anything less than that in the state anyway. Going to pool real quick. Older equipment, the pump is clearly leaking water. It's operating, but it's leaking a fair amount of water while it's operating. The filter is certainly older, still appears to be working just fine. Skimmer and basket structure, all of that appears to be in pretty good shape. Pool lights. I'm assuming that the two switches over at the pool equipment were responsible for that. I could not, I'll go back and double check. There was another set there that I neglected to check. Let me check, but I think the two switches are above, up high on the wall, and those did not operate the pool lights, but I will check. Ginger?
Yes.
Do me a favor, please.
Yes.
Go over to the pool equipment. There's two small, what looks like outlets down low. They're gray and silver. Flip those and see if they're switches, and if they are, turn the switches on and check the pool light, please. Thank you. The structure itself looked to be in good shape. Your water fill unit, this is to fill your pool with water, is connected to the hose bib at the back of the house here. It's a larger valve, it's a larger globe valve. Spin it and you'll see it turns on the water for the pool, and that will fill it for you. Okay? Unless you like the old school, which is you throw the hose in it, but you don't have to with this one. Back up into the attic space. So definitely consult your termite report regarding that. And I saw some evidence of past or present leaking in there. To be honest with you, I see it on every house I do. You know what I mean? At some point, the roof is leaked. No guarantee this one. And this one looked to be in pretty decent shape, except for the fact that it's wearing a bit thin in some areas. But I didn't see any obvious signs where it could be, or areas where it could be leaking. But I always like to note what I see up in the attic space. They did put new ridge cap across the top of this roof, but we'll show you those pictures in a minute. The vermin up in the attic space. The place has been insulated, but it was some time ago, and therefore the insulation has settled down substantially. Its resistance to thermal activity is based on not only the material, but its thickness. So typically up around 8 to 10 inches is an R19. The state minimum is only R13. So it's up high in some areas, down very low in others, and completely gone in other areas. So at some point you may want to consider re-insulating, or at least adding a little to it. Okay? Ducting looks good. Electrically, up in that attic space, we noted a couple of things. This junction box needs a cover. It also needs to be secured. If you grab it, it will move wherever you want it to. Okay? That one. And also, you can see the white wire. This is the Romex. Okay? It just needs to be secured. Staple this wherever you can. Okay? And again, I noted this for you. Again, this is the appropriate way to do this. It looks a bit sketchy, but it isn't. Okay, but this is why it's important to secure this wiring in case you do ever catch it with your hand or your foot while you're crawling around. You want to make sure that you can't damage it. Okay, so staple that stuff down. Here's our roof, and I think if you scroll to the left, you can check it out. So what happens with a roof is very much like what happens to sandpaper after you use it too much. You've done that, I'm sure, in your lifetime. Okay, eventually it'll get a little slick. That's what happens to a roof, and that's what's happening to a fairly large portion of this roof. It's happening primarily over the southern exposed areas. Why? The sun comes across that area, that side, and that's where we see the most of the deterioration there. All right.
The vents on the roof.
All three turbine vents have quit. Okay, they will not spin. One of them is completely broken and will need to be replaced. The other two, you might be able to finagle it, but you're better off putting 3 new ones on. Yeah. Okay. And remember, 65% of all roof deterioration takes place from the inside out. Improperly or badly or inadequately